All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm Blitz5, and I hope you guys are doing well. And in front of me, we have the patch notes for update 9.2. This is the second update for season 9. And as is tradition for my YouTube channel, I like to go over the patch notes, go over the entire document here. So this is going to be a longer style video. And unfortunately, this time around, I'm a little late to do this. This is actually live right now as of today for PC. And we're still waiting to find out when this is going to go live on console. I want to shout out one of the friends of my stream, user The Fink. He noticed that PUBG actually retweeted an article today about the update. And in that article, it said that this would be going live for console on the 26th. However, when I talked to people at PUBG earlier today, they told me that we just had to wait for the console patch notes. They do a separate patch notes for console to find out what's going on. So not sure if that's 100%, but what is confirmed is that there's not going to be a PTS, a test server for console. This is going to go directly live. And normally console's about a week behind PC, so that would make sense that it's going to be next week, which would be the 26th again. And for people in the US, that will be on Thanksgiving. So if that's the case, I'll definitely be trying to stream early morning and check out this new update. And this update is a really interesting one. There's not a lot of content in this one, but what's dropping in this update is going to be an absolute game changer. I mean, we're talking big changes like in the past, the glider, things that changed the game forever. And that is the addition of the motorbike and the ability to shoot while driving. And these two additions themselves are huge. And on top of that, it's being followed up with a buff to pistols, which I've been waiting for a really long time. And I'm super excited to see this update. I've been seeing footage of people test this out on the PC, people doing backflips while shooting, doing crazy shots out of the air. The motorbike seems really, really cool. It's going to be on all of the maps except for Karakin. And I mean, look at this thing right here. It looks absolutely awesome. And I was able to go into training mode because I kind of stink with mouse and keyboard, drive this thing around, and it operates like a beast. You can do wheelies on it. I mean, this has got to be one of the coolest things in PUBG. Like I said, alongside the glider, adding in fun things like the spike trap. I mean, this thing is just absolute fun. And it's just going to add a lot of good stuff to the game. And I don't really see any problems with it. So this is the kind of stuff that we like to see in the game. And I can't wait to play this on console. This is a single-seater dirt bike, is more than just a light version of the motorbike. It has its own independent clutch system to rev the engine, improve suspension for off-roading, and some other fun features we know it won't take you long to find out. Not to mention, another fun addition coming in the future, the dirt bike spawns on all maps except Karakin and will replace 50% of the existing bikes out there. We're looking forward to a whole slew of new stunt videos with this one. The new dirt bike is new single-seater motorcycle, all maps except for Karakin, and available in normal, custom matches, and training mode. I was a little surprised to see that this will replace 50% of the existing bikes because it's a single-seater only. But then again, I kind of realized that a lot of times when someone's on a motorcycle, they're by themselves, and there's plenty of other vehicles that you can take, but this will definitely change the dynamic of the game if you're playing duos or you're trying to get a buddy in the back of your motorcycle and all you have is the dirt bike. But I think this will be for the better because of all the cool stuff you can do with it and just having extra vehicles in the game. So I think that will be fine. And here's an image of someone doing the wheelie right here. So you can kind of see, it seems like you can hold this for maybe like 5 to 10 seconds and then it falls down and then you keep driving. Here are some other characteristics. Got a great acceleration with a top speed of 130 kilometers per hour. Off-road suspension, which they mentioned before. They also have a thing here where you can disengage the clutch when handbraking to keep your RPM and momentum and do hard turns, which seems pretty cool. Again, I'm not super familiar with mouse and keyboard and all of the different buttons and key bindings, so I wasn't able to test all this stuff out. But I think if you're good with all that stuff, you're going to be able to do some awesome maneuvers with the dirt bike. And then here it said added the ability to alter pitch using shift and control keys during acceleration and braking. I was trying to use those keys, but again, I'm not really sure what was going on there. And hopefully they have this figured out for console where it's easy to use with the thumbsticks and all that stuff. But we'll see when this goes live on that platform. Then we have the new feature, driver shooting. And you can see here of an image of the two players on a motorcycle. Both of them are shooting a pistol. We got this guy in front of us who looks like he's got the P92 and then, or the P1911. I'm not sure which one that is. And then he has the other player here has the Scorpion with the extended mag, and they're just shooting right from the front of the vehicle, which is pretty cool. And so this has been a long requested functionality, which I don't know if I've seen people request this, but I think this is going to be great. The new system allows you to fire sidearms while driving, and you can maintain control over the vehicle. It says that you have slightly reduced response while reloading. And I heard online that this actually looks pretty funny because you can move the car while you're reloading with 2 hands and the car will actually move. So something to figure out there for PUBG, or maybe they just suspended belief there with that just for the purpose of having this new function in the game. And this function works for most vehicles. Obviously, there's going to be a couple of limitations, they said. And I know this isn't going to work with the BRDM, obviously, because you can't shoot out of it. And it does not work with the boat, but all the other vehicles this should work with. I'm not sure about the glider. It doesn't say here, but I think you'll be able to use it there. And then they also have a vehicle aiming overhaul, which this is going to be huge for console if they can get this done right, because it's pretty hard to shoot out of a vehicle on console. And the driver and passenger views are now heavily stabilized while aiming. Camera rotation will not follow the rotation of the vehicle. Driver and passenger TPP cameras have been adjusted and moved closer to the character for easier aiming and more accurate aiming. The angles are restricted according to player visibility in relation to other passengers. For example, you're unable to aim fully upwards in a closed vehicle. Of course, that makes sense. And the camera angle no longer flips sideways when a vehicle rolls or pitches upside down. And then here we have the enabled firearms or sidearms, which is basically most of them. We have the Deagle, the P18C. I'm not going to read all of these. The only thing you got to note here is that the sawed-off can only be equipped by drivers on the bike type vehicle. So the motorcycle, the 3-seater, and the dirt bike. Next, we have the weapon balance adjustment for sidearms, and basically pistols are getting a buff across the board. And it's funny because I was just talking about this and I just made a video about it on my YouTube channel saying that pistols, I felt like, at least on console, needed a little bit of love. And it only kind of makes sense because if you follow where PUBG has been making updates and edits and improvements to the game, they've basically given all of the weapon classes some love. The ARs are in a great place. Snipers are in a good spot. The SMGs got a buff a while ago. The shotguns got a little bit of a buff. So now that the pistols are getting this, it only makes sense. And I'm very happy to see it, even if it makes the game a little less realistic. Gives them more of a purpose, which is nice. So let's read what they did here. So I'm kind of just going to skim through because there's a lot of like little nuances here. But they've increased the headshot damage multiplier and also the limb damage multiplier. But if you notice, these are very small changes. They've also decreased the aim deviation multiplier, so aiming now is more accurate. They've also made it more accurate while you're on the move, while aiming, or in ADS mode, which is nice. So just going to be more accurate while moving around. And then they've also given the revolvers a little bit more love while moving around as well. Then if you scroll down here, you're going to see that most of the pistols, except for the P92, received an increase in damage, which is very nice. So I guess we'll just go from the top here. So we have the 7.62 revolver, the R1895. This got an increase of damage from 62 to 64. The increased rate of fire from 150 to 300. So now that this is stronger and shoots faster, this pistol might be one of the better pistols in the game. So I'm excited to use this. When on console, this pistol was probably my least favorite. Then we got the R45 here, making the biggest jump with 10 points, increasing damage from 55 to 65. So it's going to be one of the strongest pistols out there now. Then we got the P92, one of the only ones to get a reduction in damage, but they actually increased the rate of fire from 444 to 600. So it's going to be pretty fast. And then the P1911 just got a little bit of a buff by 1 damage point, so not too much there. And then the Deagle actually stayed the same damage-wise. I think the Deagle is statistically the strongest pistol, but they're just giving it a little bit of a faster shot, going from 240 to 300. So I still think, whatever your preferred pistol is, I guess, but the revolvers and the Deagle are going to be really awesome. And then the P92 has actually always been great, so the fact that it's going to shoot faster might be really good in close quarters situations. And then the sawed-off got a decreased base pattern scale, decreased choke spread, lower spread, and increased damage multiplier to 0.55. So hopefully this does a little bit more damage. That's usually pretty weak. And then the Scorpion can finally attach an extended quick draw magazine. If you're wondering what's going on here, for some reason, the Scorpion only allowed an extended mag. You couldn't do an extended quick draw mag. I don't know why. So now it's just easier to get this thing extended, having both of the options. And then in a late addition to the patch, we have some weapon balance adjustments for the ARs. This was not included in the original patch notes, and I think this was just added before the update went live. And this is something that I really like to see. So for the 5.56 weapons, specifically the M4, the SCAR, the QBZ, and the G36C, their reload time has been decreased by 10%, and the reload time of the barrel has been increased by 5%. So what's going on here is that a while ago, PUBG increased they made the reload time slower for a lot of the 5.56 guns to try to balance out the weapons, because some of those guns were the most used guns in the game, especially the M4. So they thought by nerfing them and also making the reload time longer that would help. But really, most people still use those guns and then just get caught. When you get caught in a really long reload, it's just really frustrating. So they're increasing that by 10%. We'll see if that makes a really big difference. When you see these small numbers, it's hard to know if it will really even be noticeable, right? When you're talking about 5% or 10% over a reload animation that only takes a couple seconds, however long it is. But on the flip side of that, I do like that PUBG is using really small numbers here to make adjustments, because a lot of times companies come in and are heavy-handed and make huge buffs or nerfs, and you're like, why did you do that? So I'd rather see PUBG do this stuff like 5% at a time until it feels right, and then they'll know they're in the right spot. When some people enjoy it, some people are complaining, and they know they're right in the middle. And then obviously the barrel could use a little bit of a nerf here or there. So increasing it by 5% to me seems to make sense. And they also increase the horizontal recoil of the barrel. And then here they're doing some extra lava damage calculation update. They're basically trying to fix where the lava does damage, and gas cans now explode when it comes in contact with lava. Basically just quality of life update for the lava, making it work a little bit better. Some regional matchmaking changes here. If you're in these sections, you can read, or in these regions, they reopened queues for these areas. A lot of solo and duo queues in different regions around the world. And then there is a new addition of a Battle Bride pass. So this is like a new pass that's going to be in the game simultaneously with the Survivor pass. I went into the game today just to look at this. It costs 500 G coin, which is roughly $5 USD, $4.99 USD. And then there was 15 levels, and there are no missions for the battle pass. You just level up as you gain XP from playing. And I think the battle pass period says runs for 28 days from the date of your purchase, which is really nice. You basically have 1 month to get 15 levels with XP. And to me, I thought this was going to be a weird thing that PUBG was doing. But basically what they're doing here is they're giving you, thousands of G coin worth of content for 500 G coin, but you have to earn 15 levels. So there's a bunch of different outfits here. An outfit in PUBG usually costs around 1,000 G coin, which is $10. So they might be giving you $20, $30, $40 of content for $5 that you have to actually earn. So I thought this was pretty cool, and it goes along with the story. Obviously, PUBG is trying to make money, but you are getting cosmetics in return. And if you're not into cosmetics, then just skip this. But if you're someone that's into this stuff, I don't see this as being a bad deal, and I'm definitely going to be purchasing this, just in my opinion. And then we have some new UI and UX. There's a team finder, and there's also a new chat feature. I'm curious to see if we'll see this on console. I'd be surprised if they added a chat feature to console. And if they did, if they add chat to console, there's really no excuse not to have proximity chat, because people could curse at you in here and on the game, but I guess it would be censored on here. I don't know. I still think, and I know a lot of players are still advocating for proximity chat on console, even though we'll probably never see it. But it'll be interesting to see if this makes its way to console, which I guess we'll find out next week, or with the patch notes for console. And then now they are bringing PUBG ID visibility. When you kill players, your PUBG ID will be displayed to the victim, which I really like this a lot. More stuff with PUBG ID to me makes sense. I hope they keep kind of flushing that system out, because I hit level 500 a while ago and there hasn't been much going on. And then just some performance updates. And then this was interesting. At the end of the patch notes, they included that they changed some of Vikendi here. So they're changing the way that the circles go. I noticed recently that like so many circles have been ending on the ice, and then also on the outskirts of the map. But I like that the circles end on the outskirts of the map. So the safe zone now is going to more often appear inland and on land. So it'll be interesting to see. I like when the circles go to crazy places, because you get to explore areas of the map that you don't normally get to. But I guess people might not like that. I don't know. And then also there's some large rocky areas near the center of the map, and then near Cement Factory on the east, in between Cement Factory and Lumberyard, that they're editing a little bit to enable access while on foot and in vehicles. So it'll be interesting to see. And remove some small objects around the river, which were not able to be used as cover, and hindered player movement. That's good. Sometimes PUBG has a little too much clutter. I know they're trying to make it look realistic, but sometimes there's certain areas that you just get stuck on random things. So I think they're just trying to go through the maps and clean that up. And then we have some new dirt bike themed items, some skin sets, and all this stuff, which will be pretty exciting to match your motorbike. PUBG definitely stepping up their skin game and dropping way more content recently. And then we have last year PGC Grand Champions, Gen G. You can get their outfit. The white pants kind of will just make you really easy to spot. So I don't know about that. And then a bunch of bug fixes in the game and UI/UX fixes and skins and items. So there you go. This is update 9.2, really here towards the end, just a lot of quality of life and fixes and small little things. But really the big part of this update is the Battle Bride Pass, which I think is pretty cool. And that PUBG is doing that alongside of the Survivor Pass. The buff to pistols, which is going to be a game changer. The ability to shoot out of vehicles while you're driving, which is going to completely change the game forever. So much more fun stuff is going to happen. You can literally shoot out of the motorbike as you're doing a backflip, which is just insane. And the amount of content that we're going to see is going to be crazy. So I'm very excited to get this on console and use my controller to get some awesome clips. And I hope you guys are looking forward to this as well. And I can't wait to see you guys on the Battlegrounds. If you want to catch me live, I stream pretty much every day on Twitch, twitch.tv/Blitz5 and friends. And I hope to see you guys there. Thank you all for watching. I'm Blitz5 and peace out.